spring break. Mine, not so good. Okay, so couple of things. I actually ended up getting food poisoning and was pretty much out the whole week. In fact, I'm still not 100% far from it. So if I'm like bolting out of here, you know why. Because I'll probably have to puke or something. Anyway, so here's what I'm going to do. Anyone, first of all, let's talk about the retake request. Okay. Anyone that emailed me for a retake request, I'm going to assume that you went ahead and did all the work for it. And um, so I'm going to change your grades. If you did emailed me a retake request during spring break, I'm going to automatically change your grade to 100% for that particular test. Secondly, I have all the redemption test, so to speak, for this course on Delta Math. Now, there's three of them, kind of. There's Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3. Unit 3 is split into two parts because it's hard. It's the hardest one, and they're time tests. So I wanted to make sure you didn't run out of time for the entire test. And if I extended the time to like 3 or 4 hours, it made more sense to split it up in time. So here's even for those people who haven't done a thing, you have a 0 in there. You hit now. Friday is the end of the term, so you don't have everything in, or you haven't done anything for the course. Here's your chance, right? So let's take a little gander at this whole test redemption thing, okay? Okay, now, let's say, for instance, you do Unit 1 test. So there's Unit 1 test, redemption test, right? And we have Unit 2, redemption test. And Unit 3, redemption test, which is 2 parts. Okay, so you got these 3 tests, right? And I'm sorry, I don't have the document camera hooked up to the little Chromebook here, so it's probably coming out backwards, right? Deal with it. So, all right, so suppose I got a 0 right now, and I do the easiest of easy test you'll ever take in your entire life. And that's the Unit 1 redemption test. Now, since we have 3 of these, technically 4, because that's 2 parts, since we have 3 of them for your overall grade, each one is worth 33.3% of your overall grade. Okay. Now, again, unit test number 1, I haven't done the videos for the reviews yet. Each one of these have a review. Unit 1 and Unit 2 have a review. I'm making the review for Unit 3 redemption test. The tests themselves are on there, but be careful. You get one chance, and they're an hour and a half apiece. So do the reviews first. I have 1 and 2 review done. I got to make the videos. First, I got to make a review for Unit 3. But let's go back to my little example here. The easiest of easy test. Like this one goes through systems of equations, stuff that you had since Algebra 1. I mean, 2-step equations. And in fact, even those people that haven't touched math for 2 years should get an A on this test. I suppose you get a 90% on that test. The easiest of the easies, right? Very simple, manageable test. And then unit 2 was nonlinear unit. Well, it was a little harder, but again, mostly algebra 1 stuff. Okay. Suppose you should absolutely get a B on that test with no problem. Now, unit 3 is where things get a little harder, and that's what we're doing now. Okay. Quadratics, and it is, it's a hard unit. And you had a lot of it in algebra 1, but we kind of took things further in algebra 2. That's why it was a little harder. Suppose, hey, I'm just going to do the first 2 tests, and you get an A and a B on it. Okay. Well, your total points here, each one of these worth 100 points, right? So your total is 300 points. And you decide not to do that third test because it's just, I'm not gonna take any more math in my entire life. I'm a junior. I got the SATs coming up on the 13th and 14th. That's probably the last time I even care about math. All right. Well, I'm not even going to do test 3. 0%. I'm just going to do the easy unit 1, a little bit harder unit 2, and completely blow off unit 3. So that gives me 170 points out of the 300. Okay. Now, if you put that in a calculator, guess what? If you get an A and a B on those, you're going to pass the course. Then comes out to like 58, 59%, which would be a D. Okay. Now, there is no reason why anybody should fail this course. There really isn't, unless you absolutely want to fail or just don't care. Because with these redemption tests, my goodness, and the reason why I do this, because I need to see some growth in algebra 2, and B, I'm not going to kid ourselves. This was a crappy year. I mean, really crappy. And yeah, granted, if you do the redemption test way out and you pass the course, I mean, you're not going to come out of here with the skills to be an engineer. If you go into a math or science field, you will have to take some lower course math in college. Okay, but the chances of that happening it's such a low percentage that so many students go into math and science. And I think by now, those people who know what field they're going to go into have done, really tried and learned the mathematics to go on. I feel okay doing this, in other words. Does that make sense? Yes, Trevor, I know it's just a hair under passing, but it will pass you. Okay. At 57%, I am not going to fail you for a crappy year. Everybody understand that? If you need help, I'm working on the videos. Like I said, I barely came to work today because I was so nauseous. In fact, ended up throwing up this morning, and I wasn't even going to come to work. So I need some time to make those videos, but the tests are on there. First thing I want to do is get that. They're in Delta Math. I will make a topic and put it in the classwork page. And I believe I for this week's work, if you're continue on, with the regular way we're doing things, I think I put this week's work in. Yes, I did. Okay, so I did put this week's work in the Google Classroom classwork page. I will have the grade tracker done today too. So those students that are working on this week's work. By the way, for those students have been doing the work and maybe want to raise their grade, I will, if you want to do those redemption tests, I will raise your grade if it's higher than what you already have in Skyward. So if you're at a C and you've done all the work, and you're doing this week's work and you do the test, even in doing the test, number one raises your grade, it might raise it to a B or something. It won't hurt you to do the test. You can only improve your grade. Okay. Any questions on that? I see, Will, you don't have a calculator. There's a TI-84 app that you need to download or go online. If I can get the, I don't have it right now because I'm on the Chromebook myself. I don't even know where to begin to look for it. But that's what all the students have been using is the scientific calculator app. So I will, when I get my laptop, because I actually forgot my laptop at home. When I get my laptop, I'll look for the address and email it for you to download. Or if you just go online, I think it's Wabbit.emu. If you look at that, that's the web address and you can download it. Any other questions, guys? Oh, I obviously didn't get to the grades last week, so I'm only going to count summative grades. Like I think we had one quiz last week. I mean, the week before break. That's the only grade I'm going to put in Skyward. So, there's only going to be another grade or two that's going to go in Skyward. Any other questions? We all good?